This sick dog went into a vet clinic to ask for help. What happened next will surprise you. Sadly, one stray dog was limping around from one place to another, asking strangers to help him. The poor animal couldn't bear the pain and slept in front of a shop, which luckily turned out to be a vet clinic. The next day, the doctor saw the condition of the dog and began to treat him. However, all of them were stunned and stood frozen when they saw the injury. It was a miracle that the dog was still alive. There are many stray animals in this world and so many of them are starving, sick, or injured. It is not humanly possible to help them all, and this dog was also by himself. There was nobody to look after his injury, but this four-legged animal was determined to change his fate. This stray dog was abandoned at birth on the streets of Ceará, Brazil, and he had learned how to be self-dependent. However, one day he began to feel pain in his body. Initially the animal ignored it, but as time passed the pain became unbearable. The four-legged animal couldn't walk properly and would hop in the streets to look for help. Every passerby saw the condition of the dog, but no one bothered to help the poor dog and take him to the vet clinic. But the dog was not about to give up, and he roamed the streets as long as his legs could allow. Then on that fateful day, the furry animal became too tired, and his body could not take the excruciating pain anymore. The dog stopped in front of a shop and slept. Maybe heavens was on his side, because the shop turned out to be a vet clinic. The clinic had several security cameras installed both inside and outside the building. Although the cameras were intended to capture a law offender or suspicious activity, one of the nurses at the clinic spotted the dog outside and began watching it. The vets thought that it must be an ordinary dog and would soon leave once he was awake. Dr. Daisy Ferreira was surprised when the animal entered the clinic. She saw that the dog struggled to push himself up. The doctor noticed that one of the legs of the stray dog was not working properly. According to the veterinarian, the animal may have entered the clinic because it smelled other dogs and felt protected. Although the workers are used to seeing homeless canines walk by, they were taken aback by the tiny dog's noble demeanor. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the dog as he tried to enter the clinic. Even the outsiders stopped and watched the four-legged animal. For a moment, the dog turned its head around, tempted to run back to the streets away from all the attention. But then it swallowed its pride and took a few more steps through the door towards Stacy and the nurses. The throbbing sensation coming from its paw was too much for it to handle. As soon as the dog reached the wall, it collapsed, unable to support itself any longer. At this point, the doctor rushed toward the injured animal and inspected the wound. Ferreira then turned to speak to the nurse, giving her instructions on how he was going to examine and care for the dog. The nurse then went into a room, and the doctor asked the dog to follow him. The four-legged obeyed the command and followed the nurse, as he desperately wanted his wound to be cured. After healing his most superficial wounds, the center's vets opted to conduct a comprehensive medical examination to establish his overall condition. Unfortunately, the results of the tests revealed that the dog had a transmissible venereal growth, which needed immediate medical attention. The puppy, whom Daisy named Quindam, had to be hospitalized for at least 30 days to get chemotherapy treatment for the malignant growth. Daisy is a member of an animal protection organization and frequently assists animals in need. She took the responsibility of Quindam and decided to look after it until it was healthy and ready to be adopted. The dog had its first chemotherapy treatment and appeared to respond well to the medicine, which is encouraging news for those keeping an eye on the youngster. The vet offered shelter to Quindam, allowing him to rest at her house, and developed a routine of sleeping close to each other at night and walking to the clinic during the day. But more than that, by seeking out help, the lonely dog found something, even more. He found hope. Slowly, the stray dog was healing, all the bleeding was gone and the animal didn't longer feel any pain. Word has since spread about the vet clinic's surprise new patient, and adoption offers have come pouring in for when the time is right. His days as a lonely, unloved dog are officially over, and Quindam seems to know it. He doesn't even look sick. He just is so excited to be around people who care about him, Ferreira said. The Vet VIP Clinic, where the homeless dog is being tended, had also launched a virtual fundraising effort to help with medical costs. The campaign objective of 4,000 TH has already been met, all thanks to the viral narrative of the puppy and the generosity of the people. The campaign, however, will continue since the remaining funds would be donated to other groups that offer care for animals in need. Soon, many locals began calling and messaging the department to let them adopt Quindam. While the vet was pleased by the outpouring of love and positive reaction, she still prioritized the dog's safety and well-being. When the Brazilian man called Daisy and suggested sending a person to pick up the dog for him, the doctor politely rejected the request and asked the man to come in for an interview. First, she wanted to ensure that Quindam was being adopted by the best possible candidate and refused to settle for less.